Well, hey, everybody, and welcome to the show. We got Ukraine update here with the Shills. We got some people that'll be popping in today. We got some people that'll be popping out today. So we don't really know where we're going and what we're doing, but I do have a cool announcement I can make here to start us off. Andrew Mercado is not just a guest on the show today, but he's our newest regular panel member. So big shout outs. Andrew joins the team. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well. Good to be back. Just got back from Ukraine a few days ago. It was a quite the experience this time. Without power for most of the day, only like 2 to 3 to 4 hours of power.
Yeah.
Running water was not working towards the end of the trip, and then plus we joined with Greg, Terry, and Jenya and saw kind of their mission across the front line. So it was more of a work thing. Like it was physical, and we were in the vehicle a lot. And my last year when I went to Ukraine, I was in Kyiv for a lot of it, majority of the time. So got to like sightsee type stuff, and it was just a little bit of a different experience this time. So I'm more appreciative of what I have here in the United States now. That's for sure.
Yeah, I could see that. Absolutely. Yes. And let's see, we got Slavy in today. I hope our connection's all good and everything. How's it going?
All right. I hope you guys can hear me today. It's going good. Not too
bad. Excellent. Here, I'm going to give your mic even more of a boost here. So let's see. Let's see if that's any louder.
All right. Hey, guys. Slava Ukraini.
Slava.
Now you're louder, too. That was very much worth it. So excellent. And we got Secular Sakai in. How's it going, buddy?
It's going, and it'll keep going, and we're gonna make it good.
Yeah, good call. So let's see here. There's some news we want to cover. There's definitely some stuff to go over, but I thought we'd start right off with Andrew and some tales from the trip. You got real up close and personal with things in some bad zones, right? Share a few thoughts and feelings and, how it was all going down, because I would have needed like 20 pair underwear a day, dude.
It was pucker factor. There were a couple times.
Yeah,
definitely. Different levels of pucker factor. One was an after the fact thinking of, oh my goodness, like we were just there 5 minutes ago. And then there's just like this giant explosion that took place. Literally, like I don't know. It was crazy. And then there's another one where we were at a block post, and we're getting very close to Frontline City, and we were going to go in there to assist one unit, but then the block post was like, no, you guys, we can't, like, you can't go in right now. I would turn around. And then we just listened to all the military, because Greg and Jenya have a really good relationship with like every freaking unit in the entire Ukrainian military, it seems.
Yeah.
So like, I swear to God. So they just like listen, and we did that, and good thing we did, because like artillery was like coming in behind us. Like, we were like in the artillery range of what was happening. So they looked out for us. It was for our safety. Like that's you know what I mean? The block posts aren't trying to be mean or like, you can't see what's happening. They're literally trying to keep us alive.
Yes.
The artillery was coming in. So all we did was listen, and we abide, and it was good, because Rick was next to me too. And he's like, yeah, this is good. This is far enough. We can go back now.
Yeah.
We don't need, we can, you know what I mean? So that was pucker factor there. But it was more of that this time, because last year we went to the front lines with NAFO. We went twice, Donbass Express, and the second time we actually delivered an ambulance to Pete's Brigade, the 67th. So I went and met with them in Kramatorsk. That was when Scottish Pops was still in Project Constantine. So we met with him, and it was just a great exchange and great experience. But the Russians weren't as close as they were back then now. So now it's like that area is more of like more of an anxiety than it was like last year. There were soldiers everywhere, and it was just like there were even some civilians here and there. But now it's just only military, and like just the environment is much more tense. Like in the spots that we were last year, like Kramatorsk and Sloviansk and Kostyantynivka, it's just very, very, very tense down there.
And you got a real view into just how well Greg and Jenya are connected and really in the scene, right? You get these joker trolls that say, oh, he, blah, blah. They have no clue, right? No clue.
No. The majority of the stuff that, we are sharing a drive that we all took video, because we didn't have a dedicated cameraman because we were like working too. I mean, yeah, I'm there because I have my YouTube channel and so does Rick, but like we were the majority of the stuff that we did was off camera. Like we couldn't, just because we didn't have another person to film it. We were like literally like hands on working or helping, or we're at the grocery store getting what the soldiers wanted, or we're at the pharmacy, for example. So a lot of the stuff we just naturally couldn't film because I mean, we just didn't have enough room for a cameraman, and it was just a perfect team that we had anyway. So, and then Rick's starting to upload some of the videos. I started showing some of them on stream. But I'm going to upload them too to my YouTube channel, and we just kind of are all sharing our video. And then Greg is rightfully on a good vacation right now, which he's so desperately earned.
Yes,
and then he'll have
100%.
He has even better videos on his phone that he'll be uploading.
I got sent one that nobody's seen yet, but you cats are cruising down the road, and not too far off in the distance, there's an explosion. You can see it just funneling up into the air, and not too far off in the distance on the other side, something's going off at the same time. Like, the feeling of being trapped in there must have been, whoa, dude.
It's like you feel like a pressure on you. I know it's weird. It's like not a real thing, but it's like you feel like you just like feel closer to the ground. You're like it's a pucker factor, we call it in the military.
Yeah,
because you're just like you're tightened and you're just stressed, and especially when we were in Kherson, that is like we were like 2 blocks away from the river, and you're just hearing artillery, like just loud. It's thankfully that when we were there, it was only outgoing at the time, but you could hear it in the distance, the ones that were landing. But the ones in our area were just outgoing, and that still is just like a reminder of, they're fighting the Russians like literally 3 blocks away from here.
Yeah,
which is wild. It's just wild to think of, and it's just you're there, and it's a lot different. I mean, when you're in Kyiv, yes, the missiles. I mean, just right before we left, the ballistic missile hit the children's hospital and the cancer ward. Absolutely horrible, right? So it's not like Kyiv is in not dangerous either. But in Kyiv you have the Patriots are there, and it's the air defense is very, very good. But it's a difference between like being there and like having a sense of safety versus these frontline cities. They don't have anything. Like they're getting just hit. Like the artillery, they're just back and forth artillery. There's nothing intercepting it or anything. It's just things getting blown up. So it's a little bit more of like a anxiety factor.
Yes. Yes. I can't imagine. I'm not a natural born person that would find themselves in that zone unless I absolutely had to be, right? Yeah. I'd not sure I can picture it, to be totally honest, right?
Have you had Johnny from ATP on to talk about his experience too?
We've had him on, but we never got into detail there. I'm hoping to in the near future.
That would be cool. That we could be. I mean, I'll be here too, and we can all just talk about it with Rick too, because Rick is another one that would be a good. As I'm going to be honest, for me, I guess the military really did train me to be okay in these environments. Like I didn't think it would, because I wasn't like a combat job. But it really did train me to just find a cool balance, just to like not freak out completely or be scared. I mean, I was scared. I was like, holy shit, but like I was able to just still be myself and navigate through it. So I do got to credit like the military for that and the military training, because even though I did get deployed and all that, this is the most combat I've seen in my life. Literally, artillery is coming in. There's nothing to protect us. We don't have NATO in the air. Like we can't call it air support to watch. It's just, we're literally getting hit with artillery or missiles. Like there's nothing there to stop it. Whereas when I was deployed overseas, full protection of our U.S. military, it's like, we don't have to worry about that stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Massive difference.
Yes.
Not direct military experience, but I've dealt with bullets around me in the past, but being that close to explosives that could actually blow you apart. That seems
and the drones too.
And the drones. It seems like it would be an incredibly high stress environment.
Oh God, yeah.
But the group we were with though, with Greg, Zhenya, and Rick, we got through it though. It was cool. Like I think we all kept each other just at a good calm. No one was we were all just really good. I think like we just a solid team. No, we didn't do anything extra. We listened to everything we're supposed to, because sometimes you go with groups, and I mean, I wasn't worried about this at all to begin with, because I've developed a relationship with Greg now over the past couple months on my stream, but I've hung out with Rick multiple times in person now. But so sometimes you go with a group of people in these environments and they don't know how to act. Right. And just, you know what I mean? Or like they throw the vibe of the group off and it's like, ah, dang it. Like if only this one person, but no, for our group, it was everybody was on point the entire time. And it was just like very, very smooth and amazing. Like from start to finish.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That really helps, right?
It really does. It's everything. It's the camaraderie of the group.
Yeah. The brotherhood comes together and keeps everybody in check, the whole bit, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, Slavi, you've got something Ukrainian focused that you're going to be taking off to do after, right? What?
Yes.
Yeah, what's going on?
Just a little fundraising event here in Los Angeles, actually for Ahmedid Hospital. So.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of advocacy that needs to be done for Ukraine still. I mean, there's a lot of people that don't follow the war at all. So it's just incredible to hear what kind of propaganda they pick up. And I mean, we have to go to the basics, go back to the basics, back to if it's the Ukraine or Ukraine. So I found it absolutely insane that people still third year into the war and people still don't know these, basic things. So I wrote an article in Ukraine Today about the biggest 5 misconceptions about Ukraine.
Yeah, we've got that link. Our mods will be shilling it out. It's a great read. Go check it out.
How do you fight the stress of having to go back to like the beginning and like re-explain everything? It's like, man, how have these 2 years not been enough to learn by now? Like, how do you find that to start from zero again?
Breathe.
Breath.
I literally want to pull my hair out, but you have to do it for Ukraine and stay calm, because that's when people listen to you most, when you do stay calm and just over and over and over again. A lot of patience. That's what I kind of gathered.
Yeah. No, and thank you very much for doing that, because it is incredibly important, and people do very often forget, because not even just going back to the full-scale invasion, in my opinion, people should have been talking about this for 10 years now, since what happened in Crimea. And I've got friends in a few other countries that have wars that similar complaints, like in Myanmar, never gets talked about at all. You have to fight for the spotlight, and it's an important part of the war effort.
Agreed.
Absolutely.
Agreed. So let's see here. We should probably do a few of these shout outs before I get to the point where I have to fly to try to get through them, right? And then we'll get into a few news items and what's been going on and stuff. So we got Dunk on You 23 gifting out 5 Shills memberships in there. Thank you very much. We've got Haji, I do believe, I'm trying to get that right. Somebody in the live chat tell me there. Gifting out 5 Shills memberships as well. We got Jean-Marc Paganel with a super chat. Ukraine beer manufactured in Montreal while the rebuild. Being in Ottawa, I want to buy some. It's not all right, and support Ukraine. I had no idea that was the case. If so, I got a relative little north of me that's got a pub and a beer and wine store, and I bet they can get it in, and so I can get some. That'd be awesome.
That is cool. The last beer I remember was that Maria Canadian Ukrainian beer we talked about like 6 months ago.
We got Dunk on You again, a $20 super chat. Get it, Slava Ukraine. Don't talk about F1. I haven't seen it yet. Neither have I. No F1 spoilers. Absolutely not. I haven't had a chance to watch. XAJJ Killer came in with a, I think it's it's a member message. Let's go. We've got Matt, our super chat Matt in the chat there.
Super chat Matt.
Yeah,
nice.
Slava Ukraine, Heroium Slava, and it just so happens to be super chat Matt's birthday. So let's give it up with some happy birthdays to Matt. Dunk on
Happy
You
birthday,
then
Matt.
came in with a direct donation of 26, and it's Slava Ukraine. And then we've got generic username, Shill Apprentice message. Hey, hell, the Shills. Proud of all your work. Thank you there, generic username. Teen Nurka, new member as well. Swedish kroners, 200 of them too. So, boom. Buy mosquito and mosquito repellents for the front line. Oh, mosquito net and repellents. There's probably an angle there to say that would be a little bit of comfort for dudes that are, well, chicks too, that are taking it rough, right?
Mosquito repellent and muscovite repellent. Let's get it all for the front lines.
Yeah. Well,
Botnik be gone.
Yeah, that's where I got the screw up from, right? Linda Carlson, new member. Thank you very much there. Cats. Hey, everyone. Slava Ukraine. Heroim Slava. Skits Crasher in with a message. Shills for the win. Hey, thanks, Skits. How's it going, buddy? And I think I actually got caught up. So let's see here. News-wise, we'll start with the guests, or we'll start with the panel members, I mean, and we'll dive into the research that Annette CF Beauty always does up for us. We'll just go around the clock. So Andrew, where do you news-wise, where do you want to start off with?
Well, what about the Trump Zelensky phone call that there's expecting?
Yeah. So thoughts there, like
if I'm not mistaken, that call happened either shortly before or after Trump had met Orban in person as well.
Yeah.
And just kind of that highlight, or that
like days later, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I can see what's happening. There is major concern about what's going to be the outcome of the election in the U.S. in November, and who is going to have to be negotiated with when all is said and done. And I really hope, personally, that it's Democrats. But if it ends up being Republicans who have the U.S. presidency, it's going to create a lot of domestic distractions and problems for Americans, and not be as easy to negotiate with.
Oh,
of course.
So, like they did on the way home, there was two babuskas that were trying to talk to me, and I absolutely couldn't speak Ukrainian, so there's just no way I could understand them. Right. So but I had the translator app, and so like I'd have them talk into it, and I'd read it, and they are afraid of Donald Trump becoming president. Like that's just what they wanted to talk about, like just for at least a good half hour of the conversation. Yeah, it was just how concerned, like, first they were asking, like, what am I doing? And, like, what am I doing for you? Do I believe in victory for Ukraine? And then it just went to, okay, what do you think of Trump? And then I told them what I thought of him. And then they're like, do you think he's going to win? I was like, it depends on a lot of factors, I think, that are going to go into this. Yeah. As we continue to get closer, how much the right and the left will have to unify. I'm talking about like the Republicans that aren't Trump supporters,
right?
That definitely exist, and if they're willing to cross the line or cross the party line and vote for a Democrat to.
Well, I know in real life a bunch of card-carrying long life Republicans that are not voting Trump no matter what.
Yeah.
So, if that message can spread, like, be a Republican, that's fine, but be a proper Republican, not a MAGA moron.
Well, now the advocacy, kind of the work that we're doing right now is to call like a Trump's People campaign office and say that, well, to the Republicans and the independents, say you will vote for Trump if he supports Ukraine. You'll get the vote.
Yeah.
Let me say something. I
put the pressure on him to support Ukraine. Sorry.
Yeah.
When it comes to anti-Trump Republicans and an attempt to cross the party line, so to speak, to bring an end to this madness, I think it's an unlikely scenario. But I keep looking at history, and I don't know if you guys know, like the Whig Party that used to exist, like in the 1850s in the U.S. What caused that party to collapse was major infighting, and Whigs eventually joining the anti-slavery of course, at the time, anti-slavery Republican Party, and then Southern Whigs joining Constitutional Union Party. Basically, I'm hoping there's going to be some big divisive event in the Republican Party that actually brings about a new two-party system, because that's what always happens. Something big happens.
That is so stressful for me, because I feel like the big things have happened and they just like get worse.
Yes,
so
exactly.
It's right? Just like what is going to happen? Like, what is, dude? Like something just diabolical has to happen. It seems, huh?
Well, the last time
Category 5 help.
Yeah.
What I just mentioned was right before the U.S. Civil War. So let's hope that doesn't.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah,
where we've gone is pretty low here for standard. I'm just concerned, but
yeah, absolutely.
Yep. Yeah. So it could. I mean, for me, it's when Trump was the president, he had an opportunity to help Ukraine, and he gave some javelins, but then he chose to blackmail Zelensky at the time.
Yeah,
which is like, whoa.
He gave like 3 javelins.
Yeah, like 3.
He couldn't even use it.
Yeah, literally. Like they lasted not even a week, like a day maybe.
Yeah.
So and then that was it, and then he just blackmailed Zelensky, and that was that.
Well, and that's the thing. The other thing I've noticed about the rhetoric is he openly is saying he would be, quote, a peacemaker, because he knows that when it comes to the topic of Ukraine, actually I heard earlier today, James in his stream put it very well, for American Republicans, Ukraine is a divisive topic and Israel is a unifying one. And then for Democrats, it's the opposite. Ukraine is a unifying topic, but Israel is a divisive one. And so the problem really just comes down to he's trying to say, oh, well, I did give weapons to Ukraine and I do support Ukraine and we're going to have peace through dialogue. It's just trying to appease the Russians. And we don't need fucking appeasement.
Yeah. His version of I could solve that war in one day is forcing Ukraine to accept new borders. That's otherwise he has no plan. There's no way a delusional moron could actually believe that he could pull this off.
Yeah, precisely. And what none of us want to see is for this to be something that gets dragged out for 10, 15, 20 years, a second war or a frozen conflict. And more my fear is I don't want to see this go in that direction.
And it's going to cost a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
Damn right.
Yeah.
Yeah, well.
Damn right. Who's next here? Slavi, what news this week, caught your attention?
Oh, my God.
So much.
I like this. I know it's about Russians, but I like the story about that Japan wants the Matryoshka doll back. And, I really enjoyed that story. I saw it yesterday. And because, they steal culture, they steal everything. So I'm glad Japan is speaking up and being like, that's not yours.
Yeah.
Japan has been based for like a while now. I'm glad that they're ramping up their military, because like clearly they're not their old imperial selves at all, and they haven't been for since World War II.
Yeah,
they've clearly been like a part of trying to trade with the West, and their constitution forbade them from building up a military, and they've abided by their own rules. They haven't gone against this, so I'm glad that they're changing their policies a little bit to stand up to these genocidal countries like Russia. Like they have to build up their military to do it, obviously, because you're going to need that. But I'm glad that they have chosen this route.
In the peace summit, Japan said that we're going to keep supporting Ukraine in the best way that we can, because they can't directly send weapons, but they're like, it was very worded very nicely. So
I'm glad that they're continuing to be more assertive, and that stance, that movement didn't end up fizzling or dissolving after what happened with Shinzo Abe, after the old prime minister was assassinated, because he was a big part of, he was divisive, but he was a big part of that push for Japan to be less pacifist and actually involved in at least doing what it has done to help other countries like Ukraine and stand by them.
It also does help that, well, I'm not trying to say like helps, but I mean, Russia's aggression on Japan and then taking their lands too. So Japan knows about Russia's imperialism firsthand.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they still fight over the Senkakus, or no, not the
Yeah,
Senkaku.
they're super northernmost islands or
the ones near Hokkaido. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
Right,
Anyway.
guys, I have to sneak out, but I'll see you guys next week, and Slava Ukraini.
Heroes
Slava.
Slava. See you soon.
Till next
Slavi.
week.
Take
See you,
care.
Slavi.
See you next week. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, she's going off to do some fundraising, so that's awesome. Very cool. Very
Nice. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
You could just like flip it that fast.
Yeah. See
What
that?
the
It's a
heck?
neat trick, right?
Yeah. You got this all down now. This is great.
Yeah, I've worked out some pretty cool tricks. Andrew, afterwards, look up the Akai MIDI mix. I've got it incorporated, so I've got hardware volume sliders, and I can do people's EQs with a little MIDI mixer I got now.
Nice.
Oh, it's awesome.
I have to look into that.
Yeah,
Something to look
it's
into.
beautiful for doing this stuff because I don't have to always flip here and there. Just grab a little dial, right? But anyway, So Sakai, we've got a little news brief here from Annette.
Yeah.
Where should we be starting off then?
You know what? I'm thinking maybe a good place to start is going to be this article.
Sorry, I
Uh-huh.
forgot my piece of the news that I wanted to bring up from the week.
Uh-huh.
We brought it up yesterday on the 42 show, but there's a group of Ukrainian hacker scammers, and what they're doing is scamming Russian men with fake dating profiles. They get them to buy tickets to go to the theater or this and that, right? And then they don't show up. They've got a fake website all done up so that people think they can try to get a refund, but you've got to spend enough money to get to the refund level. So they get you to buy 2 more tickets. Yeah, right. And then they'll say, no, you must have typed in something wrong. So just get 2 more tickets and we can refund it all to you. And they conned one guy out of 19,000 British pounds.
Wow.
Yeah.
What an operation.
Yeah, I love it. I was so happy reporting that tidbit of news yesterday. I loved it, man.
Absolutely.
Oh my goodness. Help.
Well,
Yeah.
I guess the news I've got that I think would be good to focus on first is Blinken. Blinken. So from AP News, Blinken points to wider pledges to support Ukraine in case US backs away under Trump.
Yeah.
So kind of tying into the conversation earlier between Zelensky and Trump, in Aspen, Colorado, Ukraine is on its way to being able to stand on its own feet militarily, Secretary of State Antony Blinken said Friday, noting that more than 20 other countries have pledged to maintain their own military and financial aid to the country, even if the U.S. were to withdraw its support under a different president. This article has me kind of with mixed feelings because there can't be this doomsday naysaying. I get why they're using this kind of tone in here, but basically what it closes out saying here is every administration has an opportunity, of course, to set its own policy. We can't lock in the future, Blinken said, speaking to an audience of U.S. policymakers and others at the Aspen Security Forum in Colorado. But he pointed to the security agreements that the United States and more than 20 other allies, including some NATO partners, Japan, and the European Union, signed at a NATO summit in Washington this month. Were we to renege on that, I suppose that's possible, but happily we've got another 20-some-odd countries that are doing the same thing in support, Blinken said. Ukraine itself was on a trajectory to ensure it, quote, stands on its own feet militarily, economically, democratically, Blinken said. And so I feel like this is like trying to allay fears and concerns among Polish supporters of Ukraine and others watching on the international stage. What are your guys' thoughts on this? Do you think this is kind of signaling? Do you think this is kind of trying to ring the alarm bell, like bolster support for Democrats? What do you think this is?
I think it's just they're trying to just deal with reality. I mean, just in case the election does go bad, right? Because we obviously have the emotional aspect where we're going to do everything we all personally can to try to prevent that, but they also do have to plan for the worst as well to ensure Ukraine will still have the support if the worst does happen. So I think it's just strategic more so than trying to do any signaling of anything bad, like as if like that's what we're planning for. It's just like, this is good. It's always good to have backup plans, even if the worst is to happen.
Yeah, agreed.
Right.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, and also, though, I'm sure the fears kind of get amplified by previous rhetoric from the orange asshole during his term about whether or not the U.S. should be in NATO at all. So that, of course, I think is a highly unlikely thing.
Crazy work. There's like that, those comments are just absolutely dog. Like, I can't stand that.
That's to fan the flames of those America. Hell, right?
Oh yeah, because isolationism, that absolutely works out perfectly for every country that has tried it in history, right?
Wow. If you're not playing on the world stage, you're falling behind fast. Any country that's not a player on the world stage knows it.
Yeah, precisely. Other than that, let's see. I've got a few other headlines here. We've got news. Oh, once again, everyone's favorite Hungarian, Orban, releases letter to EU leaders detailing his maligned Ukraine, quote, peace mission.
Oh, fuck.
In
Here, let me give you the Shills take on Orban's peace mission.
Today we're making fuck off pie. With 1 cup of no one cares, a dash of kiss my ass, add some fuck yous, a pinch of blow me. You're gonna want to stir it all together and shove it up your ass.
You're gonna want to stir it.
I guess that is my stamp of approval.
Yeah, I like that one.
Budapest, Hungary. Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban on Thursday released a letter he addressed to the heads of European Union countries where he presented his impressions from a recent series of visits with some of the bloc's biggest adversaries that angered many of his allies. The letter, which Orban sent to European Council Chairman Charles Michel on July 12th, outlines his assessment of meetings he held under the auspices of a self-declared peace mission that included the trips this month to both Moscow and Beijing, visits he cast as an attempt to broker an end to Russia's war in Ukraine. Those visits garnered major backlash among EU leaders. Surprise, surprise. Who rebuked Orban for holding meetings with Russia's Putin and China's Xi Jinping without first consulting his European partners. He was also criticized for undermining EU unity on Ukraine and for giving the false impression that he was representing the bloc. And before I keep go any further, I just want to remind people that the timing for this, remember, it's a rotating thing and it's mandatory. If I'm pretty sure that it rotates. The EU presidency is currently temporarily appointed to Viktor Orban. So when he does stuff like this, it's very easy for news outlets in any language around the world to say EU president, negotiates with Putin and Xi Jinping. Yeah, so it all, the timing, it ties together. It's like, what are you doing? You do know this is just making the other side look good, right? And he's like, I'm sure if Orban were answering that question, maybe not directly, but slyly from the side, he'd be like, well, yeah, of course I know that.
Yeah.
Well, Orban is a puppet, so it's like this is him, and then this is Putin's hand, just like right up at Orban's ass, and then just doing what he wants to do.
Putler wears his balloon knot like a bracelet, man.
Exactly.
Oh yeah. Yeah, between Putin, Erdogan in Turkey, and Xi Jinping in China, I can't tell you how many hands have been up his backside.
Just up there. Yeah. Just up there. Absolutely.
We from time to time we get celebrities who watch the show in the background, and they'll send us in a little clip that we can play that pertains to the discussion right now. And we have none other than Sulu himself with a message to Orban.
Your intellect is as weak as your dollar. Failure is your destiny. You disrespect yourself and your nation. You are made of stupid.
You are made of stupid.
I love that ending.
That's so good.
Yeah.
So good.
So, it's just one of those things that happens around here from time to time, right?
I'm with that.
Sorry, excuse me.
Beyond that, not a piece of news, but something kind of cool. I recently found. I was visiting a friend, and at their bookstore, I got my hand on something from a photographer, a Ukrainian American photographer, who went all across the country. It's in both English and Ukrainian with Cyrillic
Cool.
script. Yeah, I mean, proceeds was for humanitarian support in Ukraine. And it's in the middle of a medium-sized passing through an American city when I was visiting, and it seemed to be growing in size, more people buying books and other stuff in support of Ukraine. So made me really happy to see that.
Cool.
Super cool.
Yeah. Oh, here.
uh-huh.
There's a thing that I just noticed that came up here. Nationalist campaigner for the Ukrainian language has died in
I heard about that, and so I'm not going to pretend that I have years and years of meticulous, experience looking at internal domestic Ukrainian politics, but I do know that person was very beloved, but also divisive among some Ukrainians. A member of Svoboda, the Svoboda political group, which has been a little controversial for some. So yeah, it's very interesting. I've seen some headlines that said nationalist, and then I've seen others from Ukraine in English that say, language professor, or advocate of the Ukrainian language.
Yeah, she gets very, very pissed off when somebody tries to speak in Russian. She does not like it. And she was actually attacked on the street and shot. Full on gang warfare style thing.
Yeah, no, and that, of course, in any situation, I believe that should be condemned, because at the end of the day, when it comes to hybrid warfare, it's much more effective and much more in your own interest for whatever you stand for to win with ideas and words rather than bullets.
Right.
It's on the battlefield where the opposite is true.
Exactly. Here, let me just I'm just queuing up her picture here so I can show everybody, but I wasn't prepared to do, captures of anything before the show. Just 1 second here.
Being throwing curveballs here.
Yeah, normally I prepare, but I forgot to today, What are you going to do?
It happens.
Yeah. And my web browser's fighting me, so that's a thing. But yeah, here.
While Dick's doing that, you guys check into the stream. Where's everybody watching from? In the comment section. Put a comment in the comment section. Worldwide audience over here supporting the Shills.
Yeah, very good call. Good call. Let's see where everybody's at and what everybody's doing. Good idea. Yeah, so that's her picture there anyway. Sad that she's gone. You never want to hear about that.
Yeah.
What do we got here? Michigan, Denver, Texas, Jersey. Hey, what are you asking me for? What do I look like? A fucking roadmap?
Also, with Texas specifically, I gotta say it makes me happy how often I see Texas and people say Texas Oblast. Yeah,
everyone knows that. That's the thing.
We got Wales in the house, Vancouver, all kinds of places. Helsinki. Finland. Nova Scotia, New Zealand,
even other planets like Wisconsin.
Yeah,
I know, far off lands no one's heard of.
Yeah.
West Virginia.
Kidding.
Montreal.
Love you guys.
Awesome.
Love all of you.
Just
Netherlands,
jokes.
Sweden, Lithuania, Netherlands.
I'm sure there's that one guy with his laptop in the Yukon who's also tuning in.
Yeah. Dakota territory. Cool. Right on. Yeah. Hey, that's one heck of a mix, man. Awesome.
Yeah. All right. So if we want to go on to some more news, let's see. I've got here. Okay. Some technical information. U.S. imposes sanctions against Russian hacktivist group Cyber Army of Russia Reborn. That's a name. Okay,
Wow.
let's see. U.S.
Sounds like a unit in Metal Gear Solid or something.
I know, right? It's a mouthful too.
What's it called? The Russian Reborn.
Yeah, Cyber Army of Russia Reborn. Which
that's a faction in Watch Dogs.
Sounds like it.
You gotta take it down.
U.S. Treasury Department applied sanctions on July 19th on 2 members of the Russian hacktivist group Cyber Army of Russia Reborn, otherwise known as CAR. According to the department statement, the restrictions were imposed against Yulia Pankratova and Denis Degtyarenko, the group's leader and a primary hacker, respectively. CAR and its members' efforts to target our critical infrastructure represent an unacceptable threat to our citizens and our communities, with potentially dangerous consequences, said Undersecretary of the Treasury Brian Nelson. The U.S. has and will continue to take action using our full range of tools to hold accountable these and other individuals for their malicious cyber activities. Since 2022, the Cyber Army of Russia Reborn has been conducting DDoS attacks in Ukraine and against governments and companies located in countries that have supported Ukraine, the statement read. Yeah, I know. When I read it out loud, I also have
send
to fight
in the Ghost Recon.
Yeah.
Send in the ghosts.
Yeah.
They'll take care of it. Yeah.
I mean, they sound like they're from Watch Dogs. Send in Splinter Cell. Send in
Sam Fisher.
Snake. Sam Fisher.
Solid Snake. Handle it.
They
got to get into the mainframe, destroy the mainframe. We got to just send them at this point. Enough later
now. Let's see here. And as recently as May 2024, sanctions were introduced against Dmitry Koroshev, also known as LockBitsUp, who is the leader of
LockBitsUp.
Yeah.
What a name.
Leader of Lockbit Group. Earlier restrictions were imposed on other Lockbit members, including Ivan Kondratiev and Artur Sungatov. So, I mean, I've actually been keeping up with a couple of different things. So there's this. Then, if we're talking domestic U.S. news, there was the big hack of the Heritage Foundation and Project 2025, which isn't directly related to Ukraine, but of course they're heavily MAGA and supportive of Trump and supportive of trying to make very big, sweeping changes if they manage to do what they want to do with their plans, which would make things harder for Ukraine with U.S. support. So there's been a lot of sanctions and a lot of arrests and notifications recently of major hacks related to the war and related to MAGA world recently.
Yeah, the elections are on their way, so the people think like influence, like they think like Russians are here physically, like doing something. It's they're attacking the cyber infrastructure. I mean, Microsoft was just down like all day yesterday. People can log in. They're pushing out propaganda through AI. It's a bunch of different factors that go into the influencing of the election. Both physically and propaganda and messages.
Yeah. And you can't really trust the big companies like Meta, Facebook, and Instagram and so on to do much about it, because it's kind of in their financial interest to let things snowball because it keeps people interactive and stuff. So there's going to be ungodly amounts of misinformation flying at us now.
Oh yeah, and not just in English, but in Spanish. I'm very concerned because I've got another article here. I won't go through the whole thing, but Russia's still recruiting Cubans due to generous payments and Russian citizenship.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm very concerned about Russian hybrid warfare, information warfare, not just in cyberspace directed toward the U.S., but directed toward Latin America, because it seems like there was a rift for so long since the collapse of the Soviet Union and this feeling of you're not communist anymore, what the hell, Russia? But that's been mending over the course of this war, I think, a little bit between Cuba and Russia, and that's not a good sign.
Yeah, they did that big show with the boats and everything, right?
Yeah, precisely.
Which is never good. Posturing, that people are doing it for a reason, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. A couple of shout outs here I'll do. Generic username, gift and Shills membership. Thank you very much. Generic username, Jean-Marc Paganel. This is a reference to the last one as well. I believe the beer is called It's Not All Right. I'm going to check on, and we'll see if we can't get it up on the screen here. Thanks, Jean-Marc Paganel. Demetrius Ziganovas sent in a direct donation through one of the services there. Great show and Slava Ukraine. Heroyam Slava. Great show,
Heroyam
Demetrius.
Slava.
Yeah, awesome. And then Petra Olsen threw in 129 Swedish kroners there with love to Ukraine. So thank you there, Petra. Thank you very much. And we're caught up. So, okay. So now, Andrew, when you were over there, as well as being out with Greg and whatnot, you got to do some city walks and stuff. And what some highlights,
Soviet, because a lot of it's still built how Soviet infrastructure. It hasn't been replaced. So it's cool seeing other city layouts other than Kyiv, because Kyiv has older, they have Soviet stuff, but older than Soviet stuff too.
Yeah.
Prior to that. So, just walking around. I mean, the power was out, so there wasn't much else to do anyways.
Right.
So, I mean, you're not going to sit and just cook in your hotel room and just be hot. It was
properly hot right now over there, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh my, they have a big heat wave.
Yeah.
A very big heat wave through there. Again, when the air conditioning doesn't work with the power out, it's like you're just cooking and there's no relief. So the only thing you can do is walk or stay in the shade or just be outside. So that's kind of what we did.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was an experience. We went to Zaporizhia, Kryvyi Rih. We went to, Kherson, like I had mentioned to you, Coach, all the line of cities that are in the southeast near Donetsk. But the coolest place, and now I can't think of the name of the city that we went to. I'm gonna have to wait for Greg to get in here. We were the overlook with the statue of Artem.
Oh,
I showed the video of it. I just can't think of the name of the Svitoritsk. That's where we were. It was and then we spread pizza ashes there too. It was just a great experience.
Yeah. I saw some pictures with the statue and everything, and looking down, and wow,
Yeah.
It was incredible because we had pulled up there the night prior. There was just this sunset that was just like this golden hour sunset with the flag, and the flag was flying all intense, and the statue's massive. It's like just like Paul Bunyan type statue, just big thing, big rock formation.
Yeah, the
marble.
Picture I saw of you guys, you can't even see the whole statue.
No,
because
it's so massive. Yeah, and so they tied a Ukraine flag onto it. So it's just like overlooking, and then it's just like a big, like Lion King moment where you just, when the sun goes, it's just the horizon and the forest and everything.
Yeah, it's beautiful for sure. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, and also, Dick, I just want to say I notice and really appreciate it. Thank you for having the image of Pete up still down in the corner of the stream.
Yeah.
It kind of, of course not the same, but it makes me feel a little bit like he's here with us.
Yeah, that's the idea, right? Little memory action and whatnot, absolutely. We should go into the fact that we've got a second NAFO fundraiser going with the Portuguese battalion of the Sniffing Brigade. So we'll get some links dropped in, and I'll be smart enough to bring it up on the screen the next time I mention this, but I'm not smart enough right now because I didn't plan it. I was a little family busy pre-show. I didn't quite get the calm start I really wanted, so few preparations got screwed up. What you gonna do?
How's the pizza? Right? How's the pizza going?
Awesome. We over ordered yesterday, so and we had the one only done light, so when you reheat it up, it's actually perfect.
Nice.
Right? Yeah, that was really good. So he's very happy upstairs doing his thing. I just did a check on him there, and everything's good that way. We're doing the same heat wave thing that Ukraine's got going on right now. We're getting 42, 43 Celsius every day.
That's a lot.
Oh yeah, man, my air conditioner can barely keep up. I might have to get rid of it and get a new one because it is older now. I've had it for a while, but oh man.
Is it a window one or is it one that goes on the wall? Okay.
Yeah. It's a window one, and what I want to do is get one of the new heat pump window ones because they're quieter, they're more efficient, and also you can use it in winter for cheaper heat than electric baseboards, right?
That could be smart. Absolutely. I'm blessed and thankful I got the central air in this spot.
Nice.
My last place it wasn't window AC, it was wall AC. It was out of the machine, so it's kind of like the same thing, but
they're too loud.
Yeah, they're very loud. I try to. The stream could never hear it, but I would hear it while I'm trying to stream, and it'd be the worst.
Yeah, I can hear mine right now over you guys in my headphones, but noise cancel on my Mac takes care of everything, so you guys don't hear it, right? You know,
AC just beaming.
Oh yeah,
but it's needed because that heat wave is no joke. And then, of course, like I said, there's only like a couple hours of power. In a lot of the places in the south of Ukraine and in the east, there isn't power. Like,
that'd be
12 hours. You 12 hours of straight of no power at all. You're just cooking in the sun. Oh man. So a couple of places in the south and in the southeast, we had to just sit in the shade for like a few minutes. It's just like, man, this is tough.
Yeah. Greg called me on WhatsApp while you guys were doing your thing.
Yeah.
And he was just baking. Like, yeah, there's no power. It's roasting. And he's just like, like Niagara Falls, man.
Yeah. It was a tough experience. It wasn't cakewalk.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that takes it out of you after time. You know what I mean? Like,
and it makes you think about like the soldiers, right? Because we get to leave and go back, or we get to sit in the AC in the truck. Yeah, they're out there at the position, and like in certain places in the southern areas, the forest isn't there. Not like in the east, where you have that big forest with trees and shade at least.
Right.
They have a whole other set of issues now, though, with chemical warfare. We need to look into like chemical gas masks. So that's the thing now, because Russia's using World War I tactics.
Oh, one second here. Okay, there we go. We got James in here. 1 second.
Hey.
Yeah, how's it going?
What's going on?
No, things are all right. How you doing over there?
How you like my new Riz lights?
Yeah, it's here. Yeah, they're.
Whoa! I thought that was a video. I was like, I thought you had a video for like what I was talking about. I was like, oh, this guy's gonna tell us all about the thing I was just talking about. And, no, welcome. Hi. I was so thrown off there. All right, that's cool.
It's all good,
man. As soon as you said Riz lights, all I was thinking was, man, you just need to have some Barry White playing now. That's it.
That's right. Hey, baby, it's that time
of night. Oh man, yeah. I don't know if it's if you got like a solid gold thing going on there, or if it's pure magic mushrooms. I'm not. The jury's out on my side.
Oh man. Yeah, we got volume a little high.
Yeah.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
Volume's up, but just a little bit.
Yeah, I got it. I got control.
I'm loud to begin with, so.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I got all the controls over here. I just needed a second to get to them. There we go. So, yeah. James, how's things? What news and what not?
Well, I'm now living in the basement, as you can see. Or I'm on a spaceship. I'm not sure which. But
it looks like you're on one of those theme park rides, and like the wall you have to sit there and just go in the circle.
Yeah, pretty much. No, this was my solution to the heat wave here, which has been freaking awful, just awful.
Swear to God, it was horrible.
Yeah, it was really awful. And I finally got everything moved down here, downstairs. This is actually where they keep the potatoes in the winter.
Oh, nice.
Actually, there's a bunch of cabbages right over here, actually. So
James, you're rooting. That's what's going on, right?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. So, but I ever since my father-in-law built this little chamber here with this insulation and everything, I've always wanted to like move down here and just have this be my little hole in the ground.
Yeah, cool as heck. I love that.
Yeah. So it works out. It works out. It's good for me.
That's cool. That's cool. So are you still doing the drone thing now, or are you rotated out, and how does that like even work, right?
Listen, I'm just throwing spaghetti at the wall to see what sticks. We're gonna see what happens next week, possibly. I've been asked to take part in help with an initiative that's going on with the Ukrainian government to teach high school. It's like a sort of quasi military Boy Scouts preparation. Wow. Pretty interesting. And actually, one of the schools that I work with was setting this all up, and they sent me a message last May saying, "Hey, we're doing this. You should get involved." And I just didn't see the message in my Telegram. It just got freaking lost. And they've coordinated this whole thing. And it's I don't know where their the funding is coming from the Ukrainian government, but I don't know where the Ukrainian government is getting that funding, because I feel like this is training that really ought to go towards adults who are, getting ready to go into the military. Not to 16 and 17-year-olds. So I have this feeling that maybe it's like some sort of earmarked money that could only go to like this level of education. And they're like, hey, we can put it into this. And they are. So it's actually working with Azov. I'm gonna meet with them next week. Yeah, I've been trying everything. So the last time I was here, the last thing I said was I've been accepted back into the International Legion, and that was conditional. When the condition was, well, you have to go back through the Legion training again, and my back and my wrist are still not in a place where I can do that yet. I'm still in physical therapy, like I can't physically do a pull-up yet without screwing up my wrist more. So, by the way, I had my very first online physical therapy session today. I helped I'm helping my physical therapist figure out how to use a computer, basically. But he's really good, Ukrainian, really up with the latest methods in physical therapy, but knows nothing about computers. Like he had heard of Zoom, but never used it before. That kind of thing. Okay. Yeah. So, but he's going to, now that I'm getting him set up, I'm going to teach him how to use this. And now he's going to be able to provide physical therapy to wounded, veterans all over Ukraine at a much greater capacity than he would have normally.
Well, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. I showcased, I actually did a Zoom recording. I mean, I told him I was going to do this, but there was a little bit of a language barrier, maybe. I did a Zoom recording of our first session today, just a trial, and played it during our live stream. And I guess he was watching my live stream this evening, and he called my wife, and he was like, "I can't believe James showed my room. It looked so unprofessional." Anyway, so
waiting to find out about that next week.
Yeah, with the training.
Yeah.
Like I'm supposed to go and meet some of the trainers in Cherkasy with their students this next week. He has to coordinate, they have to coordinate and all of that. I actually, speaking, to answer, never ask me a question, Dick, unless you want like 20 minutes for me to answer.
Well, I needed 6, but yeah, go.
Okay, fair enough. But so I with Shere Khan, I went and did some volunteering on building drones, and they were going to call me back before the drones arrived, so that I could make plans to travel there, get there and stay with them and help them build drones. And then I messaged them, what was it? A couple of days ago, and I said, "Hey, are you still getting the drones? Do you want me to come?" And they were like, "Oh yeah, the drones are already here. You should come." And I'm like, "Well, I need like a week ahead of time to buy tickets.
Yeah.
You know, train tickets are hard to get going west anyway. And then they're like, yeah, and also you're gonna need to rent your own hotel for the whole time you're here. And I'm like, it's in a tourist town and it's really pretty kind of expensive. I went there for a week already to do this, and so now I'm like, well, crap, by the time I get the tickets and the hotel, they're going to be done building the drones. It's, you know, frustrating. So, but
that would be
it.
frustrating. Yeah.
Yeah. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. But, you know, I mean, at least I got my Riz lights. That's the important part. Anyway, I'm sorry I interrupted you and Andy and Sakai. What were you guys talking about to begin with?
We were talking about a bunch of stuff. I mean, we're going over news articles, talking about the situation in Ukraine, domestic U.S. situation heading into the elections.
I don't know which is worse.
Yeah.
Well, here, let's do a fundraiser shout out here. So we've got the campaign going for NAFO. There's the patches. We got the goat on this time. You know the goat, right? Yeah, I know it's a sheep, but just play along. And so yeah,
that's your patch. That's great.
Yeah. And they're honoring a fallen soldier there, Sam Newey. So that's very nice. And I highly suggest you donate enough to get the two of them. And it's we're at 3,600 euros. So, you know, it's getting off the ground, but we got to start doing an actual push. So you'll be seeing this on some social media. You can find it on our website, theshills.org. And we appreciate everybody, you know, that can chuck in a couple of bucks or maybe a couple of more, right? You know, it all helps. It all helps very much.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Let's see here. I'm just looking at the time. We've got about a 90-minute window today on the show. There's a couple of things that are going to be happening, father-son time and stuff, so I can't be too long.
Cool.
Okay. Yeah.
Cool.
News-wise, I don't think we went through our whole list, did we, Sakai?
No, well, we have got a lot of news. We can go through more. So, let's see. I guess another good thing to take a look at. Well, here's something that's kind of good news, but also sad to hear. Now, headline here is from APR. Ukraine's bookstores are thriving, but a top printing plant took a deadly hit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's not a good thing, right?
No, not at all. And also it's very telling because this has happened more than once. The Russians know what they're doing when they're, you know, targeting energy infrastructure, targeting bookstores and publishers, manufacturers. You know, it's information warfare combined with strategic strikes on civilian infrastructure.
Absolutely.
Continuing cultural genocide.
Yeah, precisely. Kharkiv, Ukraine. After a Russian missile strike in May, one of Ukraine's largest book printing plants looked like a massacre. 7 employees were dead, with more than 20 wounded, their blood on the walls that had not blown apart. And under a caved-in roof lay tens of thousands of charred books and printing machinery in smoldering heaps. Most of the books were ours, says Artem Litvinets, editor-in-chief of Vivat, a major Ukrainian publishing house. The attack felt methodical and deliberate, like cultural genocide. So I've got images here of the destroyed books and the building after the strike, and it's heartbreaking because this is the kind of thing, just to bring it back, guys, this is the kind of thing that you did see actively in World War II by the Nazis, by Germany, you know, at that time. You know, not just domestically, but in occupied countries during that war. It is an attempt to wipe out culture, wipe out language, wipe out influence. And you know, it's a signaling of what Russia would do if it could occupy the whole of Ukraine, which is
it would be so ugly it's not funny.
Absolutely, it would. It would be, it would be World War II levels of horrific human rights abuses.
Oh,
Yeah. And I'm
You're
sure that
you're either Russian or you die.
Yeah, precisely. So this breaks my heart to see. The Ukrainian Book Institute told NPR that bookstore chains have opened dozens of new stores in the past year alone, and that independent bookshops such as Sen's in Kiev are thriving. Ukraine's largest bookstore chain added 22 new stores in 2023 and plans to add another 22 this year. Litvinets says Vivat, which is based in Kharkiv, has doubled its staff and book stock since the war began and tripled the number of bookstores from 3 to 9. And now with all the power cuts, when there's no electricity or internet, books are even more popular, he says. People read them by flashlight or candlelight and escape into another world. So I want people to remember this. Of course, electricity, of course, modern technology, devices, that's all super important, crucial for transmitting information. But especially with the situation being what it is, having physical analogs for people to use and especially to inspire hope during these hard times, that's very important, morale wise. The written word is still important.
Damn right. Shout out here, generic username, super chat. Keep an emergency supply of food and water if orcs hack our mainframes, but to go with that, thank you, generic username, thank you very much. Costco now has a thing. We reported this yesterday too. It's like some kind of disaster thing, and it's rations, just add water and away you go stuff, and you get like 150 entrees and 80 desserts and blah, blah, and it works out to be $80. It's some disaster bucket or something you can buy, and they last 25 years. So having one in the back corner of the closet might not be a bad idea. Costco's selling them like wildfire, but it's a lot of preppers and stuff, right?
I like to research. So here's the thing. I like to research companies that sell stuff like that. I prefer to build my own kits for stuff like that, and customize it myself, because when you buy the prepackaged stuff, there's a lot of politically affiliated or motivated groups that sell prepper equipment, and where that money goes, I prefer for it not to go to a certain U.S. political movement.
Yeah, I'm not sure what you mean, because I'm not in any political movements down there. So
no, I'm sorry. yeah, fair enough. I guess just I like to customize because I don't want to buy something that goes to someone who's pro MAGA.
Oh yeah. I wouldn't want to do that either.
Yeah.
That's a big thing for sure. Although I feel like a lot of the the prepper thing where you buy a bucket of food, it'll last you a whole year. I feel like that's more exploiting MAGA rather than funding MAGA. So
fair enough. That's quite possible. That's true. Yeah.
I wonder if those Costco buckets come with a feed bag, so you can just strap it on and go. Well, it's not exactly like, it's not like you're making homemade lasagna. It's not going to be that. It's going to be like dog food that's got a little salt on it.
Here's some positive news that I can mention right quick. From the Kiev Independent, volunteers recruited to the Ukrainian Legion will have the right to return to Poland, official says. Assuming I'm understanding this headline correctly, let me take a closer look. Warsaw will not be involved in recruiting for the 1st Ukrainian Legion, and volunteers will be able to return to Poland after completing their service. Paweł Zalewski, Poland's deputy defense minister, told Polski Radio on July 19th. The Legion was officially announced as part of the security agreement signed by President Volodymyr Zelensky and Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk on July 8th, which laid out further developments in political, economic, and military cooperation between Ukraine and Poland. Unlike other specific legions in the Ukrainian armed forces, such as the Georgian Legion, the Freedom of Russia Legion, and the Belarusian Pakhonia Regiment, the Legion will be made up of Ukrainians. Recruitment for the Ukrainian Legion will be conducted by Ukrainian consular offices, Zalewski said. The volunteers will be conscripted under Ukraine's legislation and trained in Poland by the country's military, he added. So I do like to see that Poland will be allowing further training of those who will be fighting for Ukraine on their territory within Poland itself. Because let's just be honest, one big issue has been the constant need for air defense systems, making sure you can get them from anyone who's got them, who is able or willing to give them, and making sure that either you can safely do your training or establish whatever logistics part of the supply chain you're involved in for the war effort in Ukraine, or in an immediately neighboring country, usually Poland, I understand. So anyway, just a little piece of good news that I wanted to share.
Good news is always a good thing.
Yeah, it's gonna be like a brigade's worth, and I have a lot of Ukrainian students in Poland, and in Europe in general, and I mean there is a percentage who just a couple of them, they'll never join the military, and they're not, quote unquote, not patriots, but there are a large number who are in Poland, not to, quote unquote, avoid the draft, but because they don't want to be thrown into the meat grinder with 2 weeks of training. That's what they're really afraid of. They're okay with serving their country if they get enough training. And that's why I think I read somewhere that they've already got like 3,000 people, 3,000 Ukrainians signed up for this, and now you also have the benefit of they can go back to Poland. So a lot of these people they've established lives now in Poland, and they don't want to be pulled back into Ukraine necessarily. Some of them maybe, but they don't want to be forced to go back to Ukraine. They want that freedom, you know, and that's a big thing that a lot of Ukrainian men have told me is, they say, I don't feel like I'm free in my own country if I go back there. Freedom is such an important thing to Ukrainians. So I think this is a real positive thing. I also think that the other part of it is this is for better or for worse, whatever your opinion is, this is one half toe step into drawing NATO into Ukraine. That would be my argument, is that it is a Polish brigade funded and maintained by Poland. And I'm not saying it's going to trigger Article 5 if they get attacked in Ukraine. Right. But there's a connection there, and I wish Commander
McMillan wasn't busy today. It would have been great if he could have joined, because his opinion on this would have been very interesting to have.
Andrew, I keep trying to click on your bulletproof vest back there, but the button's not working.
Oh no! You trying to equip it?
It says press, and I keep trying, but it won't.
I thought you were trying to put it in your inventory. It's a good one.
That's funny.
That is. Well, on lighter news, Ukraine related, but not directly related to the war. One thing I'm excited for that's coming up very, very soon is the anticipated release of because I have no time for games anymore these days. I'm so busy with work and other stuff I do. Stalker 2, which I think I've mentioned more than once before. So it's all made in Ukraine, kind of a famous little cult following game, fans. And,
get out of here, Stalker.
Yeah, get out of here, Stalker. Exactly.
I actually have something with that. So I was on Twitter, which golly help, but I was on there for like a few minutes, and I interacted with the Stalker Twitter account, and I said, man, we need some Nonstop in the United States, because Nonstop is in the game, and it's also a Ukrainian energy drink, like a very famous one. And in the game, it gives you energy points as well. So it's kind of cool. So they were like, hey, there's your client right there. So I'm trying to get a nonstop sponsorship so I could get that energy drink in the United States.
Andrew?
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Andrew?
Yeah.
I taught English to their marketing team. I could probably get you connected.
That would be amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell them I'd be dead serious. And then
I have them on Telegram. So.
And I stream video games big time. So
they would love that.
Because I could stream the game day one.
That'd be badass, right?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Hang on. Let me just check it right now.
Guys, we were gonna play Stalker day one regardless of all this, but this is cool that I think I might be getting connected to it a little bit more.
Yeah.
That is super awesome. And the funny thing is, as when I was a kid, I played the original Stalker Shadow of Chernobyl.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't even realize, I just never paid attention to the name of the energy drink. It's like, oh, I use it in the game, That's really cool though. I actually never knew it was an actual brand in modern.
Oh yeah. I have here. Let me show you this.
Yeah. Oh, definitely show me.
All right. Here we go. Now we're getting some hands-on action, fellow babies. Who knew?
I made sure to save these. These are the energy drink right there, nonstops.
Oh,
with the
nice.
Stalker logo on there too. There they are.
Oh,
so I don't know if these are limited editions or what, but it's all in Ukrainian too. So
I think they are, because I just now see from
all the stuff on there. So pretty cool.
I see here from 3 days ago, ITC.ua announced the limited edition energy drink is being released, across the country. So limited edition version. That's pretty cool.
Cool.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. And I actually like the beverage too, to be honest. Like beyond all else, it's actually a good energy drink. Like it tastes good.
I wonder if they export it out of the country for fans.
That's what they're looking for. I think so.
That's what they're trying to do. I mean, that's one of the reasons why. That's why they hired me to teach them English.
Yeah, they're trying to get it into the U.S. So that's why when I pinged Stock, because I'm sure Stalker and Nonstop have a brand deal together that they can promote each other, obviously, because the drink's in the game. It was in the original one too. So
right,
yeah.
Yep. We could be the Renegades and Shills and whatever. I'll share it with everyone, obviously.
Okay. I just messaged them. I said, "Hey guys, sorry for the late message. Hope you all are well. I have a proposition for your marketing department. Would they consider doing a sponsorship collaboration with Stalker and a pro-Ukraine game streamer?" So I'm sure they'll get back to me tomorrow or something.
Awesome.
Oh, yeah. I love how just on the fly right now we're sending this email. It's like, with this big, well-known, in Ukraine, whoa, Stalker,
that game's gonna be a big deal. Like people have been waiting for this one. Number one, it's been 15, 14, 13 years since the first one.
Oh yeah, no,
the first long time.
The first one was like 2006 or 7.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because the first one came out before Chernobyl one. The Chernobyl was the expansion, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh no, so there were 3 that I know of. There's the original, which was Shadow of Chernobyl. Then there's the sequel, which I don't remember the name of the sequel, but there's a sequel that came out in 2010, and then before that, and then in 2008 there was I want to say Call of Pripyat. There was a prequel that was released.
Yeah.
So they've done 3. It's called Stalker 2, the new one, but this is actually number 4 in the series.
You can get all the originals on sale, I think, in a little bundle now.
GOG probably's got them.
I already did that. Yeah, a while ago. I got all 3. Yeah.
There we go.
All right.
By the way, so something kind of funny here. So that game, of course, is very famous in Ukraine, but I have yet to meet a Ukrainian who knew what the word stalker actually meant.
Oh, yeah, because it's an English acronym.
It's an English acronym. They just thought it was just an acronym or whatever. They didn't know that it meant like all of my ex-girlfriends.
Oh, wait, they thought it was an acronym, but didn't know it was an actual word, or they just... Oh, yeah. Exactly.
I teach that all the time. It's hilarious.
That's funny.
That is funny.
Yeah.
Which Okay, we should get off the topic of this and get back to like news stuff. But I guess just for the heck of it, I'll pull it up. The original acronym stands for from the original game: scavengers, trespassers, adventurers, loners, killers, explorers, and robbers.
Oh my god!
Yep.
Everyone,
That's a stalker.
Yeah, it's yeah, a little dark.
It's a hardcore game too, like survival game.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
Cool.
It's fun. It's a fun game. It's a dark game, but fun.
We'll be playing that, chat, on Mercado Gaming. We'll definitely be playing that.
Awesome.
Anyway,
maybe we could find a way to multi-stream it to where like Dick and the Shills could like react to the game too at the same time.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Figure out that way. Cool. Like a watch party type thing.
Well, we've got a private server here, Mercado, with twin Xeons and 128 gigs of RAM and stuff. And so I can run a restream thing. So you feed it in and then we can feed it back out, right? And no problem.
Like I could send you an ingest thing. Yeah,
exactly. I got all that shit going on. No problem.
That'd be sick. And then because I'll play, and then you could have a pro Ukraine watch party with the game because it's because the developers have fought in the military. Like it's very well connected to the military. The developers are.
Dunk and I will do the whole MXE. Remember Most Extreme Elimination? that reworked Japanese game show that was crazy, right? We'll do it that way and make it freaking hilarious.
Hell yeah. That'd be super funny. So things to think of, things for planning. We'll do it for real though.
Yeah. Cool.
Absolutely.
Good call. Awesome.
Oh, also, so I got one news article here on another piece of, I would say good news. I feel optimistic about it. UK politics. Zelensky asks Starmer to show leadership and let Ukraine use weapons anywhere in Russia. From The Guardian. Ukrainian president says ability to use Western weapons to strike into enemy territory is key to his country's defense. So this is interesting because it's kind of going to be a bit of a litmus test, I suppose, of how much support the Labour is going to be willing to give to Ukraine compared to the Tories after this recent election.
I think it'll be more.
Yeah, I'm hoping so because I'm pretty sure it was bipartisan in the UK that a lot of the support for Ukraine, if I'm not mistaken. We will be short. Hold on. Keir Starmer welcomed the Ukrainian president Volodymyr Zelensky at Downing Street on Friday, calling the visit a real piece of history. The Ukrainian president was greeted by the UK cabinet with a standing ovation as he became the first foreign leader to address the cabinet in person since 1997. Starmer said the UK will double down on backing for Ukraine and confirmed he had accepted this morning an invitation to visit Ukraine again in the future. And the Ukrainian president Volodymyr Zelensky asked Keir Starmer to show leadership, help Ukraine with Ukraine's long-range capability. So, I mean, as we all know, the UK has long been very supportive of Ukraine during this war. It's gone deep, from what I've seen, the amount of support that's come from the British government.
Not just within government, though. It's within the populace. Like, they have a super high percentage of people supporting Ukraine, instead of this whole us versus them thing that some other countries are going through.
Yeah, precisely. And so the fact that we're able to see this, because how many years has it been since Labour last had a prime minister in place?
Like 2010 or something?
Yeah, something like that. So it's been a long time coming. And I mean, there's probably going to be other policies changing in the UK, but the fact that Ukraine support is remaining strong, that puts a smile on my face. Yeah. Anyway, So, what do you guys think? Do you think this is something that will last for a while, or do you think this is something that, this new administration will continue to be strongly supportive, or slowly try to move, become more center of the aisle?
My gut instinct is that the people of the UK are so pro support for Ukraine that any government would literally be in fear for its existence if it doesn't follow suit.
Yeah, I agree. Especially since the UK is right there in Europe. I feel like all of the countries in NATO that are anywhere physically close enough and have done enough dealing with Russia, on the same continent, there's a stronger likelihood of huge support, bipartisan support. It's just the fact that the U.S. is all the way on the other side of the planet, so
Right.
its dealings with Russia usually stem from like tit for tat Cold War, things rather than outright warfare.
Yeah, and experience.
Well, Dick, I gotta tap out, buddy.
Well,
Thanks for having me this week.
We do as well. So,
perfect.
Yeah,
Oh.
you can do a little, your turn first and saying goodbye and stuff, and we'll get ourselves find out. Yeah,
cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys on the Shills over here for having me on and being a guest. I can't wait to come back every Saturday now and be
every Saturday.
Community.
Panel member Andrew Mercado.
Awesome. Yeah, big panel. Thank you again. Mercado Media on YouTube will be live in a few hours tonight, going through the news like I do, and then gaming later if you're interested. I do have a gaming channel, so Stalker in the future when it releases, and
I'll get your links in the description properly here after and make sure everything's set up.
Oh yeah, so come and check it out, guys, if you'd like to. If not, I'll see you guys next Saturday over here on the Shills.
Yeah. Awesome, buddy.
Yeah.
Cool.
All
right. Let's see. We'll go to James next. James, thoughts and wrap ups on goodbye time?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I made a big mistake. I was feeling pretty. My muffler was dragging when I got the invite to come on here, and so I drank like 2, maybe 3 cups of coffee.
That'll do it.
Okay, well, yeah, I'll be up until about 4, I reckon. Maybe a little bit more ambitious than I should have been. Yeah. Well, first of all, I already got a message back, Andrew. I got a message back from New Products Group. That's the Nonstop company.
Okay.
So send me your information and maybe tell whatever you. We have communicated before. I think we're connected somehow, some platform somewhere. So send me a message and I'll connect them with you.
Yeah,
they are interested.
Cool.
Yeah, they're into it. Yeah. I just need to call out my website now for fundraising is whyukraine.com. I own the domain now.
Cool.
whyukraine.com. So please go to whyukraine.com. We are doing a raffle fundraiser to buy a truck for, well, frankly, what's left of the 1st Battalion for a medevac truck. They were. I mean, I don't want to go into it. They had a rough month last month. Let's put it that way. And So yeah, please go to whyukraine.com and support my guys. That's all I can say about it. And
good show.
Slava Ukraine.
Heroem
Slava.
So yeah, secular. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Do you have Discord, James?
Oh yeah. Let's see, Sakai, you have admin. Can you send or actually?
I got it. I'll do it right after the show.
Send an invite to Andrew.
Yeah, I'll get
to the Discord.
Oh,
and then we'll get it all done.
Yep.
All right. Yeah. Secular Sakai, thoughts and goodbyes.
Yeah, and just thank you for being here, everybody. It's always great to be here with the Shills. And your support, it really does make a difference. It is very important. So thank you. I guess I'll also do a plug for mine. If anyone would be so kind as to support the 110th Mechanized Brigade, we still have that large fundraiser going on Tridents Against Tyrants. And we will continue fundraising. Hoping to put some more videos and content out soon. And yeah, Slava Ukraini.
Heroem Slava. Good shout, man. We've got a couple of fundraisers going. One for one of our own to get her moved, Annette there out of tornado alley. She was 4 blocks or so away from having her home turned into matchsticks, right? So we got to get that done. We've got our NAFO 69 Sniffing Brigade fundraiser with the Portuguese Battalion, and you can head on over to the shills.org, and it's all laid out right there and easy to follow. Let's do a huge shout out to our team. We've got Annette, who runs the teams, Shayna Caldwell. We got Crazy Cat, Liam Wakefield, and Super Chat Matt, who's having his birthday. So, hey, happy birthday, buddy. Cool. And tomorrow, Annette's got Beyond the Headlines, and there will be a reveal of the mystery podcaster guest, but you're going to love it, so don't miss it. Thanks for the support and everything that everybody's doing about spreading the word and keeping Ukraine in the community conscience. Got to keep it up. As Commander McMillan would say, make sure you're getting at your local, regional, and national levels of government, whatever they may be called. And thanks for joining us, everybody. Take care out there. Slava Ukraine.
Rome Slava.
Rome Slava.
Good
Rome Slava.
words.
Okay.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
It's over. Go home. Go.